Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 ladder match on the map Plateau of ARRACIS. Let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting with red team here in the northeast section of the map, starting with the player of Cool, Mr. Grr, going first land as a UEF in orange. Northwest of him, we have Nova Space going first land in red as a Cybran. Continuing on westward, we have Bala going first land as a UEF in crimson. And last but not least, for red team here in the north, we have Mambo going first land as a Seraphim in yellow. We have two UEF, a Cybran, and a Seraphim here in the northern section of the map for red team. They are missing the Aeon technology, no Zars or Colossus of any sort for them. Down here in the south, starting with Team 2's Teal player of Moistol. I think that's how you say it. Going first land, going UEF, and again as Teal. West of him, we have Dreamwalkus going first land as a Cybran in Royal, Navy Blue. I forgot the word for a second, apologies. West of him, we have Will-O-Wisp going first land as the Cybran as well in blue. And last but not least, for Team 1, for blue team, Team 2, we have Superintendent going first land as a UEF in purple. So that is 2 UEF and 2 Cybran for blue team. No Aeon tech as well as no Seraphim tech, so they're not going to have any Yolana Asses or Washers or any of that sort of thing. We are on Plateau of ARRACIS map. This is a 10 by 10. There are some civilian structures and a couple of civilian units here all along this middle plateau section of the map. Also some radar installations, some small little PGens. There's a little fuel air staging facility kind of mixed in with this structure, kind of give it a different appeal look. And yeah, that's pretty much about it in terms of structures and players. Let's go ahead and check the reclaim. Not a whole lot. Of course, a lot of it residing in the middle of the map, of course, because that's where most of the mass usually kind of situates. And yeah, thank you so much for all of the support yesterday on the video. I greatly appreciated all the likes and the comments. It was just really awesome to see everybody there, as well as, of course, everybody who helped me reach 250 subscribers on the channel. I again greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and look at what our players are doing in the northern section of the map for red team. All 4 of the comms are moving in their respective paths. Looks like we have comm of Cool McGurrs heading out this eastern section, and 2 of the comms for red team, the red comms specifically, are heading to the middle section of the map to secure that choke point here in the middle, as well as a decent amount of that mass, of course. And the yellow player of Mambo kind of heading to go get this mass first and then go back to his main base maybe at some point, but maybe we'll see him go over here to this western section. We do see a similar movement out from blue team, except it looks like there's only going to be 1 comm headed to the middle right away, but they're actually going to go up to this plateau first. That is Dreamwalkus. Really easy to pronounce the names on red team, but not so much on blue team. So that's just me not knowing how to pronounce things. We have some air scouts overhead for a couple of the players on red team, getting a nice little intel layout of their opposing forces, enemy forces, teammates, players. I can't talk today. I do apologize. I'm just struggling. I don't know why. It's Monday when I'm recording. It's a Monday. Let's go ahead and start looking at the reclaim just a little bit. We are pretty much tied up for both players. It is about 4 minutes, so not really a whole lot of breakaway moments. In terms of reclaim, looks like Team 2 is getting a little bit bigger share of the reclaim so far, but that's going to probably skyrocket for red team as 2 players in the middle scooping up the rest of that reclaim here in the middle. Look at all these little rocks and whatnot. Some rocks are bigger than others, and that's fine. Those are worth 38 mass per those rocks. Not a huge lot of like one grouping of or one rock that's like 250 or 1,000 or just a lot of mass. We do have the comm of Superintendent reclaiming all these civilian structures, getting that mass I wish I kind of told you how much the mass was worth, but maybe we'll see as he reclaims a structure. Maybe it'll show us very quickly. He's going after that e-storage in the middle. Worth a decent amount of mass. I hear some combat going on. It was worth 200. So yeah, definitely worth grabbing that, of course. And Team 2 now pretty much skyrocketing in the reclaim game. They are being caught up by Red Team as well, but just due to the fact that it looks like Blue Team has secured their civilian structure settlement first, and Red Team is starting to, but is now being invaded by these strikers and this Snoop as well to get that intel. There is an anti-air unit in there. Very awesome to see that. Strategically being able to take out those early bombers. Be able to take that one out. No incoming firepower from the skies as of right now. Reinforcing units out for Pool make their way to the eastern side. In terms of ranking, this is again a ladder match, so 99%. There is the highest rated player and the lowest rated player on Blue Team. Will-O-Wisp at a 1900 and Superintendent just barely under 1000. We'll have to see if that makes a huge difference, having such a high rated player on one team. Red Team is the team of averages for the most part, but it's really interesting to see that the two highest rated players are on Blue Team. Dramokas? I think it's Dramokas. I feel like one of the players on Red Team could have switched, and it would have been not like close to 100, but in terms of ranking would have been a lot more better balanced. My opinion. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. Huge army out here for Mambo in this northwestern section. Most likely going to turn this into maybe a air facility. Sometimes if there's 5 players in the game, this is where the 5th player usually sits, is up here in this northwestern and southeastern corners. T2 upgrade going down for the comm of Moitstol. We can call him Moi. Engagements going on here in the middle. There are 2 different armies here in the middle, the east of middle. And there are factories going online all the time to help reinforce that front line. Would like to see some forward factories be prioritized a little more for Blue Teams, specifically for Moi. He is starting to get shot by these T1 units, but there's not enough to really make it a huge concern, and that upgrade will finish and he'll be start planting those land factories down. His land army is moving in to reinforce, at least most of it is. Red Team has pretty much secured the middle. We have some incoming Mantis. They look like Snoops by the icon, but they're not. And we have the comm of Will-O-Wisp as well in the area to help reinforce that army moving forward. We're at about the 8-minute mark. We should be seeing T2 under construction in terms of air. Yep, we see it for Nova Space, and we see it for Will-O-Wisp. Is there a secondary air player in the mix? Well, there's air units for Dramokas. I don't see any more air structures for... Well, there is one going here, just making engineers for now. We'd like to see maybe go for T2 and get some gunships out for either team, just to have some more firepower in the skies. We are seeing a large engagement here on the western side of the map between the armies of Superintendent and Mambo. He is, Superintendent specifically, is getting some T2 PD and then T1 PD online as well. He has some T1 PD to fall back to as well. Good to see that there's layered defenses. Very good tactical move there. It does look like Will-O-Wisp was able to knock out the combined army. That was like half engineers, honestly, in the middle against Red Team. And Nova Space is on a gun and speed and range upgrade. He is going to finish that, but not without losing his land factory in the middle. Baller, if or when gun speed and range upgrade is done on Nova, I would like to see Baller and Nova Space kind of pincer maneuver Will-O-Wisp here in the middle of the map, and they could kill him if they are quick enough, but that gun damage and range is not going to be very effective at taking out that comm, especially if that comm retreats from the front lines, which as of right now he's not, but he could. And there is a T2 upgrade going down for Cool McGreer. Kind of sounds like MacGyver almost. Anyway, let's take a look at ecos very quickly. We have 246 for Team 2 and almost 20 for Team 1. So Team 1 a little bit behind the ball. That has resulted in about a 7k mass difference. Reclaim related, specifically, Team 2 is leading by about 4k mass. So they probably turn that into resource structures to generate that eco quicker and quicker, so extend that gap even further. We have a T2 upgrade going down for Will-O-Wisp. This would be the perfect time for both of those red comms of Nova and Baller to pincer maneuver against the comm of Willow, cancel that upgrade, and force the comm back, or even kill it. We have the comm of Dromocus here, up here on this northwesternish plateau, and looks like Nova is going straight for him and notices him and goes, nope, nope, not going that way anymore. It looks like they're not being red team is not being super aggressive, especially because that entire army that's definitely far superior to the army out from Superintendent falls all the way back. That could have been a misclick. I don't really know. It's not really any conversations in chat about it. We do have the comm of Mambo on the way to help cut off any incursions over here to the northwest, but I don't think this is enough tanks to kill him outright. 21, I mean, on paper, yes, especially an unupgraded comm. Yeah, no upgrades on that comm, but unfortunately for this force out from Superintendent is going to be outnumbered here very quickly. And that is going to result in a win and a pushback from Mambo. And further, red team gets pushed back. They're back to this little, I guess, choke point. Kind of a interesting word. But we do have a huge push out here to the eastern side. We have T2 forces as well from Baller. Would have liked to see them support this push. But it looks like they're trying to go all the way around. We have some of these rocket bots out, these hoplites out from Dromocus as well, trying to cut off any incoming forces, but this is just a huge army to try to suppress. But unfortunately for the orange player of Cool McGreer, looks like his forces were kind of confused by this little hillside here, and that has allowed the army out from Moitz to be able to deal lots and lots of damage. There is PD in the area, in a decent amount of the area, to be fair. So something for the comm to fall back to. Of course, we have the comms of Dromocus and Baller very close to one another. Overcharges going in units all the time. There's an overcharge that goes into the comm of Dromocus as well, direct hit, dropping him down a little above 10,000 hit points under 11,000. Another overcharge drops him below 10,000, but just fire going back and forth. Those Cybern comms are a little bit weaker in terms of hit points, and you can tell that the comm of Baller has, again, more hit point pool than Dromocus does. The comm of Nova is pushing against Will-O-Wisp. This would be a great bag, great kill on the cards for red team, taking out the highest rated player in the game. It'd be a very good move. Looks like Baller is trying to intercept the comm of Will-O-Wisp as well. Will-O-Wisp and Dromocus need some assistance here in the middle. Will-O-Wisp stops moving. Oh, this is not a good move. What is he doing? He can't stop. He needs to keep going. We have a transport out. Is he going to make it? This is a calm pickup, a hot pickup if I've ever seen one. He gets on the transport. Does he make it out? He does make it out, but he gets shot out of the air. Oh, that was so close. Oh, that's gotta hurt. I felt that one. Ow. Looks like Dromocus is almost dead. Sub 200 hit points. Overcharge goes in, and that's another kill for red team, dropping this from a 4v4 to a 4v2 in favor of red team here in about like, I would say less than a minute, maybe even about 30 seconds. It wasn't really that far between one another. That didn't work out very well. Will-O-Wisp having some fun with it, but Will-O-Wisp was almost out of there. He was, I'd say, if he was 5 or even, yeah, I'd say about 5 or 10 seconds faster with that transport, he probably would have made it out of there. And because of that nearby explosion, I think it was in range. Dromocus was in range, and that dealt a severe amount of hit points to the chassis of that comm as well. So now you can just see what it's done to the APM and the map control. Red team now has the middle once again, and they're now pushing up against this northwestern plateau. The game has changed just like that. You know, within a 30 seconds, pretty much, or even 10 seconds, the game has completely changed. Blue team's got to be super defensive now. They only have 2 comms left, 2 more assassinations, and they have lost the game. This army out here from Mambo is starting to be a huge issue for Superintendent here up in the northwest section, but it looks like Superintendent has the better, at least engage, attacking a thinner profile versus the larger profile of those units, those pillar tanks. There are some Ilshis in the area as well, but all this reinforcing tech and units cannot deal all of their damage because they're just not in range. Look good to see these parashields being deployed to help shield these pillars. Again, those Ilshis are very powerful. They move pretty quickly, and they pack a punch, so you got to watch out for those little, the tiny chickens. Both of the comms of the red team that were involved in the killing of the 2 players for blue team have now decided they're gonna push this eastern side. There's 4 PD in the area. There's a couple TMD. There's some of these kink hammers. Clink. I can't see the L very well. Clink hammers, T2 artillery, and that's pretty much going to force back Baller and Nova Space. Not really worth engaging that at the present moment. Mambo not reformatting. We're not reformatting a hard drive. Repositioning his forces to have a better engage against the forces out from Superintendent. And it looks like the player of Moitstol just taking all of those bases to himself, and that has skyrocketed his eco. He is now the highest rated highest generating eco player in the game with about 360. And in terms of overall generated eco, about Team 2 is ahead by about 15 to 20, depending on reclaim and what maybe the current state of affairs. And that mass differential has resulted in about 32k mass differential in terms of total generated eco and collected, of course, because not all of it is generated. Anyway. Clink hammer batteries starting to be, again, the staple of today's game in this little eastern side of the map. They're going to continually push back that fire base of Cool MG. We have these forces out from Mambo. They are getting sandwiched by these Titans, as well as this T1 and T2 force out from Superintendent. So that's going to get wiped out here, leaving a decent amount of reclaim for somebody to go gather it up. Most likely Superintendent here on this western side, or maybe Moitstol, because he has a factory nearby. But as you can see, that factory cannot move units off of that little plateau it's on. So good placement of units, or of a factory, just can't really take them off that. So mainly only used for building. Oh, excuse me if I'm topping out the mic. I just I heard it in my ears and was like, I didn't feel good. It's good to use if you have a shield or TMD and you need engineers right away, but it does take up a lot of that land mass, so you got to be aware of that when you are deciding to put factories down. I'm going to turn down the mic just a little bit because I did top out very quickly there. I think that's better. I'm just looking at my waveforms and I think that sounds, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Again, still every game I do, my voice is a little higher, a little lower. I got to, constantly fine tune. We do have a missile launcher out from Mambo, this Ethis? Depends how the Y is pronounced. And it is going after the resourcing options on that plateau I mentioned earlier. Those engineers are able to distance reclaim a decent amount of that, those dead units, but they're going to be better used to repair and build up those master structures that were once killed. So my suggestion for Superintendent is build TMD, because kind of need it. And then you can see the range on that. It can fire in it has a huge range. Everything in that yellow circle it can fire. So a lot of these mexes are open for business to be fired upon by that DML. This little roaming band of now bricks. They were Titans. I guess the Titans are down. The Titans are down here. Excuse me. They didn't magically transform into bricks. That would be an interesting thing. Are going to start clearing out the rest of the defenses on this eastern plateau. We aren't about the 20-minute mark, so we should be seeing T3 air, which we are seeing, of course, as well as maybe a couple strat bombers, gunships. Obviously, T3 land forces are on the cards. The eco boost that Moisto got, let's say M, because anyway, that M got from 2 of those player deaths definitely is going to supercharge his eco, and that might not be a great thing for red team, because if you give all the resources to one person, he can use them at least, not as to say to greater effect, but he can concentrate his efforts on one thing versus spreading out in a bunch of little things. Like building an experimental at like 20 minutes would be an example of something, which he's building a nuke launcher in the back line. That's a good move. Stay safe, please. Can't solo this. We'll look at that in a second. He's not building experimental, but he is have it queued up a Monkey Lord, the cheapest experimental in the game. Very good unit, of course. Getting there with that giant laser is very effective. That Titan just getting overwhelmed by all of these Ilshis. You gotta watch out for Ilshis. Even though they're T2, they can pack a punch. Now again, we're seeing Titans on this eastern front for Cool as well, fighting back against these T3 units. TMD going down all the time. Bricks are being assaulted by a bunch of these T1 artillery units, these Lobos, as well as a couple PD, and of course the comm of Cool. We have now 3 comms on this eastern side. Too bad there wasn't a nuke to just kill all 3 of them. That'd be a very, very good move out from blue teams, but their nuke launcher isn't even half built yet, let alone building the nuke. So, you know, good tactical placement of that nuke would be right about here, or going into the main base of anybody. I don't see an SMD built as of right now. It is only 21 minutes, so that should start to be on players' minds about, okay, we should be building an SMD somewhere. Probably put one here, maybe one here, just to cover a lot of the bases with fewer SMD. You can pool resources together and build those even quicker. We do have T3 Ravagers from the UEF player of Baller. We do have some bricks getting into the further front resourcing options of red team, but there are Percy's in the mist, and their high alpha fire damage cannons deal lots and lots of damage to those brick chassis. Looks like Superintendent is making some inroads once again to that northwestern section of the map. Not a it's mainly like a back and forth. He goes in, kills some stuff, and then leaves. So not territory that's gained permanently, but just kind of no man's land would be the way I describe that. All of the engineers for both players just going after the mass. Looks like these engineers are on a reclaim order. Oh, they're on an attack move, which is again a very good move. You can just say, okay, attack, and which in terms of engineers is just reclaim everything from this point all the way to your end point. You don't have to keep them in a patrol move, because if they're in a patrol move, like Superintendent has them, they only reclaim up to, I think it's 80% of the bar, of your mass bar, and once that mass bar is filled, they don't reclaim anymore. So just something to make aware to everyone who might not be familiar with that. Let's check out the eco of M. He is positive. He's generating about 500 mass, and I think that's reclaimed. Yeah, mass reclaimed at the current moment. Starting to fill up his mass bar, most likely going to start funneling that into the nuke. He did just finish that monkey load, so that does give him a decent amount of mass to play with now, just so that everyone is aware. Somebody mentioned that I should point out a player's eco and compare that to their mirror or teammates or whatever the case may be. And pretty much everybody else on red team, Baller is definitely in the lead for generated eco, of course, just given by the numbers. And the lowest rated player on the team is the lowest generating eco player in the game as of right now at a little over 100, literally 1 over 100. While his, I'd say his mirror, well, sort of mirror. Yeah, I'd say mirror of Superintendent is doing a little bit better. He does have, in terms of Superintendent, does have more map control, gives him more access to more of those mexes. So that would be understandable why Cool is not generating as much mass as Superintendent. Let's see, how many ASFs do both teams have? They have 66 out from Nova Space, and for M, we have 62, excuse me, it looked like a 3. So 4 scouts, 4 ASFs in total behind. Ooh, is this going to be a good turn? Not all the ASFs are in one position. There are a couple of T3 anti-air Cougars out here from M as well, but it looks like the condensed group of ASFs out from Nova is going to be able to take out a large section of these ASFs out from M, and it looks like air control is going to go into the hand. It was going to go into the hands of Nova, but it looks like those anti-air units, those bouncers, as well as that nearby Cougar, did enough damage. And that's going to definitely be a loss in the air game for Nova. It isn't 100% secured in terms of numbers. I mean, we're talking about 15 versus 24. So it's not, the worst thing. But again, something to be aware of. There is a fat boy under construction for Superintendent. Very good experimental. Would like to see its factory components be used more, but the artillery damage that those things put out is ridiculous, especially in a large number. I'd like to see this combined push on this northwestern side. However, I would like to have seen M give control of the monkey to Superintendent so that he can micromanage that monkey lord a little bit more. We have this little hillock here preventing that army out from Mambo from staying united, and therefore cutting off a decent amount of these Otham siege tanks from being very effective. And this is definitely going to be a win in the northwest section. If Superintendent can hold, it's going to be a very good move. We have a reinforcing army out from Baller to, again, reinforce. We have a huge column of Percy's and bricks out from M. I would like to see them sent this way instead, take out that fire base of those T2PD and be able to just cut off any reinforcing units out from Red Team, and also pincer maneuver the forces out from Red Team in the north section. And they do just that. They go like, oh, that's taking too long. And those forces out from Baller are going to retreat and go right into the hands of that T3 force, and they're going to just mow everyone down. Let's go into cinematic mode for a second. Get a nice little view of the battlefield. That Monkey Lord being primary down by those Percys. They are going to deal lots and lots of damage to that chassis, of course, and they do kill it very quickly. Looks like there is a satellite above the army out from Superintendent, and M is just going to go full board, just go straight charge into anything and everything they can get their hands on. We have these fighter bombers. Oh, I forgot their name for a second. Corsairs, that's what they were called, or are called, out from the Cyber Player. I think that's Baller, right? Yeah, No, that's Nova Space. I got the bases confused. And it looks like that army out from Superintendent is getting into the back line of Team 1. Red Team's base, taking out forward operating pretty decent amount of forward operating factories. The land factory is in the back of the main base for Mambo. It doesn't look like Blue Team is going to get the kill on that, but they're going to take out all the auxiliary factories. And that huge Brick and Percy army still moving, has been whittled down a significant portion. But I would like to see engineers on the front line taking all of the reclaim, focusing maybe on that Monkey Lord first. But these bricks are still pushing. This is 28 minutes. Titans come on the front line very fast, very mobile, able to just get somewhere very quickly instead of building bricks or Percy's. Corsair fire coming at these bricks all the time. The comm of Mumbo comes in to assist, has dropped down sub 5,000 hit points. Gotten a couple ranks of vet as well, so that'll help regen his hit points. And Bala comes in to support as well. I'd say that's a very successful push, and as long as Blue Team can get the rest of at least a decent portion of that reclaim, it's pretty much going to mean they got all of that damage down basically for free. Another army out from M on this eastern side. However, they are facing a larger section of defenses out from Cool. There's that nuke launch from that Stone Ager strategic missile launcher, that SML, And it is going for, looks like it's going for Cool McGreer's, McGreer, main base. It might drop short and get the comms. No, the comms split up. I do like to see that. One went one direction, one went the other direction. But it is going for the main base of Cool. The nuke is going to land. No SMD in the area. Oh, it actually went back a little further than I thought. Went for a section of the base for, looking like, Cool and from Nova Space, trying to edge out as much damage on both of those bases as that nuke can. All of the core mechs are down for Cool, as well as a couple, at least one auxiliary mechs for Nova Space, and again some infrastructure in the back line as well. That is a disruptor that has been sort of started, but they switch over to an SMD very quickly. Very smart move. RAS upgrade going down for the comm of Mambo, getting more resources at their disposal. We have the army out from M pushed all the way back by that not telemaser but telestealth comm of Nova, just going to evaporate all of those units, and this is going to embolden the force out from Cool. And incoming artillery shells land, try to deal anything and everything they can to slow down this push. They don't see the comm, but they'll obviously see the laser from said comm, so they just try to ground fire at that location. Percy gets annihilated by a bunch of Titans, and all those engineers are going to die. Very painful deaths. They're just, besides the Sparkies, all engineers are just, civilians in this fight. Rebuild. Looks like there was, that laser out from Baller is taking out a lot of that air grid for Baller, for M from Baller. That's going to slow down air production, allowing Red Team to get somewhat of an advantage in the air game. I think they do have more ASF now. 84 versus 65. So yeah, 20 plus ASF difference, and there's not a whole lot of ASS being built in the back line anyways. Looks like Makos is saying don't suicide against those bricks out here in the middle. That comm is stealth, so we will see how that works for this incoming comm. Will he make it out? Do they see him? No, still out of visual range. I think you can see the you can see the footsteps of the comm, which is very interesting, and you can see him walk this way and then walk back. You can kind of track him by footsteps as well. Cool little mechanic that even though you're essentially invisible, you still leave footsteps, so you got to be aware of that. E2 shield, I don't know what that's about. Superintendent saying, I know, then make then make one. Will was trying to be helpful and then getting some smack talk or smack talk. I don't know. That's not backbiting. I don't know what that would be. Too late, maybe. Oh, gonna shield the power generator, but too late. Nano repair has been completed from Mambo as well. We have another nuke launch, and where is this one headed? Looks like it's dropping short, going for that front line of Cool and some reinforcing units out from Balo as well. The comm of Cool is retreating. The comm of Nova is also retreating. They are out of range of the blast zone. All of those units on that eastern front are trying to pull away from that center spot, pretty much where that nuke is going to land. Straight up, let's try to get in there, get a nice little explosion. Some of those backline units do get killed off. All those Percys are like, nah, that's fine. Nah, we don't care. And now they move after the nuke is landed. Wonder if it hits the cloak. They see you. Nope, it's over here. The Fat Boy has been completed a while back and has moved to the front line, starting to deny at least some of the reclaim field. Again, decent amount of reclaim still left over here on this western side of the northwestern side of the map. Surprised Red Team is not prioritizing it. Spend your mass. Looks like somebody's stalling. Somebody is not oh yeah, the mass bar of M is almost filled. He should be building a lot more. Maybe just spamming. Okay, building a Fat Boy. That's a good use of your mass. Maybe building another nuke. That'd also be a good use of mass. Mambo has built an experimental. It is a chicken. That's going to be very effective at trying to secure that reclaim field. However, all these engineers is going to try to take as much as they can. Incoming fire from the fat boy is killing his own engineers. How is that for assistance? And that explosion, that nuke landing out from M has emboldened his forces, emboldened himself because he is the commander of these forces, hence the supreme commander. With this megalith, is going to push the front line. Nova's going to move forward. Probably not the best move. Does he know about the megalith? He does know it's incoming. They see the laser. They know it's right about here. It comes right about here. Chicken. Will-O-Wisp making a comment. Mega making a comment about the Mega spy plane. Him. Will-O-Wisp says that should reveal. I think if I remember correctly, that reveals the comm. But kind of surprised they didn't do that earlier, to be honest. And all these Percys just standing there for their deaths. I mean, yeah, they're doing lots of damage, but a decent amount of their shots are missing just due to the tracking on those targets. Those Titans move a little bit quicker. They are just trying to point down the comm of Nova. We have a spy plane come overhead. Do they see the comm now? They see the comm now. The pings go down from multiple players on Team 2 being blue team. They still see, you can see the laser. You can see how it looks on their screen. They know he's right there because they can see where the beam is emanating and the footsteps as well. Titans try to get in close. Looks like that Megalith is just going to walk him down and go as close as they can. Corsairs coming overhead. ASF come in to try to cut off those spy planes because Nova knows that the spy planes will allow them to see him. Spy planes come overhead for blue team out from M. They spot him very quickly. The attack pins and the attack commands go down. Nova goes stealth again. The other side of him, they're trying to track his target. They're able to just spam out the attack orders, and that is a kill for blue team, making this game now a 4v3, sorry, a 3v2 in favor of red team as well. Missile launchers being spammed up, trying to launch their missiles against this megalith, which is badly damaged, to be fair, but a lot of these bricks are still alive. A lot of the Percys are still alive, so a lot of economic damage is going to happen against red team out here in the northeastern section of the map. Mambo has built another experimental, most likely another chicken. Yep, I hear chicken fire being fired. A huge army of Percys assisting this chicken that's badly damaged, to be fair, assaulting the front line of Superintendent in the west. This huge band of Percys and bricks and Lobos and a megalith is just mowing anything and everything down in this eastern corner of the map for red team. A lot of P-gens. That T3 artillery goes down, at least what was constructed of it. The chicken tries to come in to intercept. M makes another experimental in the back line. Satellite trying to do its job, builds that fat boy in the back line, and base is gone, says Dreamlocus, and M says don't have any something. Reclaim orders from these hives, trying to take out the hit points from these bricks. The chicken is now the priority target of that megalith. That chicken says, I'm going to die and take you with me, megalith. And unfortunately for that megalith, it probably... Oh, the chicken's not firing. That's not really good. And these bricks come in. They're just intruding on the enemy base of red team, just going in under the shields, taking out shield generators, taking out the Nova. Sona is going to be their priority target now. A lot of the Percys are dead. The bricks are still alive. The chicken is still alive. They're going to be able to deal a lot, take care of the rest of this incoming force. Would have liked to see maybe the... oh, never mind. They got killed anyways. This one is old. I don't... Oh, the SMD is old. That is a huge hole for red team. And that has dropped their eco down significantly, all the way down to 400 mass a second versus Team 2's 571. Most of that coming from M. M is generating more eco or mass per second than the entire red team, so definitely not a great look for red team. However, they are making some inroads here on this western flank, but the combined megalith, fat boy, and other units just are going to bat the rest of these Percys away. And that's just a mass drop They take out a decent amount of mass points as well, but not, I don't know, not really worth it. They would have liked to probably have those Percies for the defense over here on the eastern side. Nuke lands, taking up a decent amount of the rest of that base, and it looks like the comm of Baller Control Ks. I don't think he was killed by that explosion. I don't think so. He was on way out of the range of it. I mean, maybe he could have been edged out. I don't think so. Did he kill set SMD? No, I don't see any. I don't see any messages in chat about it. So he might have just left. This now leaves 2 players in the game for red team. We have Mambo and Cool versus Moritz Stoll and Superintendent. Again, I hope I'm saying his name right. I probably am not. So, or it could be Mistol with the U being silent or something. But look at this. A huge section of that base still not... It's just gone. All the explosions everywhere. Let's end this. Super. Yes. There's... looks like blue team has an idea of how to end the game. Red team still... oh, no. They lost the Novax from that explosion. From the nuke. And this is looking like it's blue team's game at this point. I mean, they have the eco. They have the map control. For the most part. We have a dead chicken here, pointing it out to, looks like the teammates on blue team that, hey, watch out for that. Cole McGreer builds an experimental. It is not a chicken. Looks like they were transferred over to him. Building quantum gateways to scale up his eco. Excuse me. It looks like a push out from this western section is going to pretty much maybe break the rest of their defenses. They have ASFs. They're building mass chicken spam. They have a couple of SMDs, but that isn't really going to amount to a whole lot if M just pumps out nukes left and right, which he should be doing. He is building a Duke, but I feel like pumping it into nukes would be a little bit more effective, because he probably, just due to his eco, could probably just, you know, oh, whoa, what is this? Is that reclaim related? Hold on, let's check out. They were down like 200 mass originally. 470 and 48. Okay, that's mass related. Okay, I was gonna say, like, there's no way they jumped that high very quickly. Go check out what's going on. Just massive reclaim efforts out from M in this eastern section, but these chickens are gonna hold the line and prevent any of those incoming engineers. We have 2 fat boys and a megalith. Again, would like to see one player have control of that army, micromanage it a lot better. You need megas, not arty, says Willow. And like, yeah, he's right. They would be more effective at ending the game sooner, to be fair. But at this point, I mean, in terms of eco, oh no, it looks like Mambo just accelerated very quickly. Yeah, starting to get all those T3 mexes ringed and whatnot. Definitely going to scale that eco very quickly. I'm very surprised that Cool did not go for any additional mexes, but maybe he's distracted with other things. Just spamming up RASCOMs as well as an SMD. Trying to get some defense. We have a counter fat boy for red team here in the northern section. I guess it's yellow team now rather than red team, because it's pretty much yellow. Those chickens on the eastern flank are pushing against the eastern flank of M. However, this is leaving their southwestern flank relatively open, and unfortunately for them, there's a megalith, which, why are you turning around? They are going to be able to kill a fat boy, but all of these bricks and a couple Percies and Lobos acting as cannon fodder and just distractions, going to make a whole lot of difference. It's starting to be in range of that fat boy. Lots of damage are going down. There are some Ravagers in the distance dealing a decent amount of damage. But this firebase out from Mambo is going to go down. The SMD is going to go down. It did have a missile loaded. The comm of Mambo is in the area, and he is being priority by all those forces. That is going to be a kill for blue team, making this a 2v1 now in favor of blue team, of team red, or team blue, of team 2. Why did I... Wow, I could not struggle saying 2 there. That's going to supercharge Cool's eco now, going from almost nothing to 700, actually out-ecoing Team 2 as of right now, which is crazy. You know, quick change like that. But unfortunately, this megalith is still alive, but it's almost dead, and these bricks are going to cause some problems. But there are T1 and T2 PD spammed out. A lot of those bricks are going to die. We have some more forces out here on this western ridge here, as well as another fat boy. Would like to see some strat bombers. I mean, there are a couple air factories built. He has the ASF advantage. Well, maybe not now, but they used to have the ASF advantage. And they could just spam up a couple strat bombers and take out that fat boy. How did that eastern push go on this? It has moved. It has pushed it all the way back to the main. I think this was the original base of M. I think so, yeah. And these chickens, one of them very healthy. The yellow one, not so much, but there are strat bombers raining in constantly. We do have an army of Percy's as well. This chicken might. It's going to be close. I don't think he's going to make it to the main base. That's going to kill a lot of Percy's behind him, though. Every one of those bombs takes about 3,000 hit points, so all it takes is a couple more. What's that, about 20? Oh, a little under 3,000. Reinforcing army or defending army comes in for M here on the southeastern side. That fat boy is still doing damage against the base of what was once Mambo. This chicken is going to get right to the shield and collapse. Going to do lots of damage to the shield as well as a couple of defending units. But these Percy's get cut off, leaving only this chicken relatively to do a lot of damage. If it can get in and take out the nuke, take out that party that's being built, I'd say it's probably worth it. And that energy weapon from the death of that chicken just kind of forcing back that defensive army. Taking out the pigeons would definitely be the name of the game. It's not doing that. Come on. You can do it, chicken. There you go. Focus fire. I would have taken out the shield first and then gone after that, but it's taking out the loot launcher, takes out the pigeons. Now it's going after the T3 factory. That'd be a very good thing to grab. There is a megalith in the area, so that's not really going to be helpful, and lots of T1 PD spammed up. And unfortunately, that's going to be the death of that chicken. So all in all, 2 chickens are mass worth has been dropped. Take out a nuke launcher, took out a fat boy that's being built. Going to take out that T3 factory. That's a very good thing to grab. I don't think there's a secondary one anywhere. That's going to stop production of Percy's and Titans for M here for the moment, but he'll probably build that back up very quickly. There is already that has been built for the player of Superintendent, so one of the 2 got built. Just a lot of those defenses on the eastern flank are now just gone. Red team does have a decent, I guess orange team, I should say. It was yellow. It was red. Now it was yellow. Now it's orange. They do have a small defending front line, but there's western side is gone. The eastern side is gone. Starting to be built up a little bit, but not really a whole lot going on. Spam, reclaim NGs. That'd probably be a good idea. But there's hardly any shields. And they are just, this RD has full range to take out all of the rest of this air grid and all this other extra mass. There is a Hovatham with no shields, and everyone knows if you don't know my opinion, it's good to at least build a shield or 2 just to protect the initial building, because the worst thing for you would be to build it like 60 or 70% of the way there and just gets annihilated by something just because it wasn't protected by any shields. Just even if it's like even one is better than nothing. There is a strategic missile launcher in the back line for Pool that maybe looks like it's going to be the target for that Superintendent's. Yep, it is the target for Superintendent's artillery. Pretty good move there. Does Cool even have? Oh well, he was about to have energy, and then both of the dead players on blue team go like the nuke is dead. That is definitely a hard loss to take, because that probably would have brought them back into the game a little bit more. But they are 0-1 Arties, and that is definitely going to be very detrimental. All blue team has to do is just kill the comm of Cool, and they win the game, or just force them to quit, one or the other. I'll aim my arty there. Yeah, see, again, my point stands. If there was a shield there, at least there'd be some protection. These NGs that aren't doing anything could build some shields. It's not like he doesn't have mass. He has 57,000 mass in his mass bar. There we go. There's no, you built, why are you building an SMD next to the arty? Why? Arty target? Yeah, target the team 2. All of blue team is like, target this. There is a shield being built, finally. But I don't like the SMD being that close, because you know the artillery is going to be the target. You shouldn't put the SMD and build it literally right next to the arty. Not a really good placement of that SMD, that is for sure. And he has just all of the mass in the world to spend. Well, now he's starting to spend it, but he had like almost 60,000 mass to spend. Too much arty for Fatty. Don't know what that's about. Oh, the T2 arty being built. Again, no shields, which is, again, very weird. Okay, now another one's being built. But looks like target maybe scheduled. I clear out. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot over there to begin with, and it's not really worth your time, because if you take this out, the shield is down. Lands, take out the SMB that was just built, so it got built for nothing at this point. Shield is back online. There's another backup shield. Arty landing again all the time for blue team. What has blue team got going on? They have another arty. Use the wreck of what was ever built earlier and built on top of it. That nuke trying to arc its gun up. What is going on? It's just like stopping halfway through. You see, it's like it moves and then it stops. I think it's like finally fixing its angle, and then it stops again. What is going on with this thing? What are you doing? It's like slowly. I don't know if it's just because it's super weak turning, because it doesn't have a lot of hit. It's under 1,000 hit points, 100% hit points. I don't know what it was, just like starting and stopping for some reason. But decent push again. Megalith in the back, protected by a bunch of those bricks. That brick line is in defense mode, or I guess in this instance it is on attack mode, or in attack position. Then Percy's arguing with that cliff against that mass extractor. Took me a second. Superintendent pointing out there's not really any SMD loaded in that. There's not any anti-nukes loaded in the SMD. And the nuke launcher has been rebuilt. There's no nuke loaded. But at least it's built. And this push is going straight for that arty. Well, it's going straight. Now it's moving over. But it looks like we have some Rascom's hurtling building Ravagers. Probably build T1 PD at that point. Ravagers can't take a lot of hits. But with all this incoming firepower, you want as much defense as online as possible, and the cascading effect against those Rascoms take out the rest of them. If one explodes, if it deals enough damage, and an explosion takes out another one, and another one, and another one. Just a cascade effect. Kind of like how air factory grids just get annihilated because all the volatile explosions. They're going to cut right through the middle of that base. What is this? It's another... What? Why? Why are you building... You're building an arty and a nuke launcher and trying to load a nuke. That's not... You should probably have built something else, honestly. PD, units, something. There's some T2 arty in the distance trying to stave off this attack. There's a mass right on his doorstep that he could have grabbed. What's the plan with the nuke? Oh, to all. That's talking to the cool. But it looks like this push is going to amount to a victory for blue team. And the bricks come in, start targeting the shield. I would, again, target either the shield installations itself. And it looks like cool Mr. Gur control case. He knew the game was what the plan was to nuke. Well played. Epic. Moistal. Fair. Yeah, it was a pretty good match. There was a lot of back and forth. Team 1, red team, had a decent lead, especially with the death of those two comms in the middle pretty early on, and they just didn't use it to their advantage in terms of taxing out the APM of their opponent. And due to that, as well as the fact that Moistal was able to pretty much concentrate all of the mass and the energy and the resources, relatively almost all of them, to himself, and focus down, the Eastern Front and the Western Front and all that stuff. Instead of having just, death by 1,000 cuts, he was more like a scalpel, just cutting pieces very deliberately. And that pretty much won the game for a blue team. And again, the MVP due to that goes to Moisto for this game. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all the support on my last video from my 250 plus subscriber cast. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments, the likes, the criticism, the assistance, the tips, tricks, everything. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one.